Courtney Boyce, which trendsetters photography. Did I say that
Yes,
right?
you did. Yeah.
Because you have so many names,
Okay.
so many profiles. So I
Yes.
was like, okay, which one do I look at
Okay.
when I have to talk to you? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me here. Thank you.
I first want to thank you so much for the evening you came out to our open house cocktail event
You're
here in the
welcome.
studio, and you so generously took all those pictures, and they were amazing pictures. So thank you for
You're
that.
welcome. You're welcome.
There were some really captured moments, and I said to you as well, it actually, some of the pictures you did take out really showed a lot of some of the people I care about. So I want to thank you for
You're welcome.
that.
You're welcome.
Tell us how you got into this and who is Courtney?
Well, Courtney Boyce, I was born in Barbados. I'm turning 52 on Caravana Day.
Happy birthday!
Yes, and I'm looking for my present.
Your present?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I'll be next time beer 10. I don't even drink beer, so let's see what happens there.
Well, back in the late 70s, when I came to Canada, I stayed with my mom, and her husband, which is my stepdad, had a Canon AE1 camera. And it was just there catching dust, and I picked it up and I started to fool around with it, and I got to know it really well. I started taking pictures of myself because I didn't have no friends yet. I was new in Canada.
You mean there's selfies in those days?
Yeah. I put it on a tripod and I shot myself, and that's how I trained myself to get to where I am today. I went to all the pageants, the Caravana parades, the chin picnics, and I trained myself. That was my university of training myself.
But that's the best way to do
Yes.
it. That is the best way to do it.
I never took a course, never been to school, never been to a class. I learned I learned. I'm nervous. I learned the hard way by training myself. So.
One of the cool things about photography, and I think my kids are going to hear something I don't think they know about me, is the fact with photography you can't go wrong because it's an art, but photography is all about you. Not so much the image. It's how you see it, how you portray it. Am I saying that?
Yes.
If you see that lamp there and I see that lamp, I will see the different eyes and you see it. And you will capture it based on how you want to capture it too as well.
Yeah.
What my kids don't know about me is I always loved photography. And actually when I was in college, I actually did photography classes. And I too had a camera in the States and so forth. I didn't pursue it. I used to have to go to the labs and all that stuff. And but I always had cameras. I never liked to be in front of a camera. Well, life changes, but I was always behind the camera.
Okay.
In that sense, I didn't take it up professionally as a hobby per se, but it's a very expensive hobby.
It is very much so.
It's a very expensive for a business. For a hobby, it's even more expensive as well. So that was what you inspired you.
Yes.
So tell us a bit more about what type of pictures you like to take. There's any particular. I know you love to take. You like colorful pictures, and you like sceneries, and you like people. At least that's what I've seen so far.
Yes.
So tell us what inspired you for that. Why some people will go and take the water and the ocean and the sky, but what is it that you like? What do you see?
I like to capture emotion on people's faces. See, if I go to shoot Caravana, I'm not going to shoot the whole costume. I'm going to shoot the face of the person carrying the costume because I want to see the facial expressions, the eyes, the sweat on the face. I want to see if they laugh or smile. I capture emotions. And any picture that I shoot, I don't just go I wait for a special moment and I hit the shutter. I wait for that. So when you see my picture, it is like talking to you. It's telling you that you're trying to figure out what's happening in the picture. Right? I try to capture that emotion. All my pictures are very emotional pictures.
It's funny you saying that because you just edify what I said before. That night you took the pictures here for us. There's some pictures, especially our CEO and some of us as well. And there were one or two pictures I just loved, and I said we have to use it on the website because it showed a side of him that most people don't know.
Okay.
And now you're just saying that, like I said, it just justifies everything I said before.
Yes.
Because I could see that in the pictures, and I told you that on before I even knew you saying that today. When I first spoke with you as well, it makes more sense now too.
Yes.
As you know, we talk about inspiring, mentoring, leadership, and so forth on this show. And for those, everybody who is, like I said, it's a very expensive hobby. People want to get into it professionally. Although you may not have the education, the experience, well, you have the experience, but in terms of the education, as you're talking about the training, professional training, those who want to become a photographer, what do you suggest they do in terms of, let's start from the beginning, not to go crazy and buy the most expensive camera, because you don't need the most expensive cameras
No,
now
you
to
don't.
do
No,
so.
no.
What if you were to be a mentor to someone? Tell everyone out there what to start with.
Well, I always say this to my friends, but they always get upset at me. I say all cameras are the same, because cameras use the same technology. They use light to capture a picture, and all cameras use light. You can have a camera with a no-name camera or a high-end camera. It uses the same technology. It uses light to take pictures, right? So I would say just get a camera that's affordable, a camera that can fit in your budget.
What do you think is affordable? What's the price range roughly to say affordable?
I say under $500. Yeah. If you can't afford that, $300. Any camera can work. I can get a camera worth $100 and make great pictures, because I have the experience how to capture these images and emotions in people or things.
But you can take, like, you have a Nikon camera there. I have
Canon.
one.
Sorry, Canon.
Canon, a small little Canon camera there.
Yeah. Oh,
That one.
Okay.
But I mean, the one I have is a Nikon.
Okay.
I think it's a Coolpix or whatever it is. But again, you could even start with that, just to get the experience and the practice. Now we have the SD cards, which is you don't have to buy film and develop and all that stuff. Trust me, that was that's
goodness.
a nightmare and a headache.
I know.
It's expensive.
Yes.
And it's reusable. But now you can use that and constantly practice.
Cheaper. Yeah.
It is, and you can get those things for under $100, $50. You know, get what you pay for. By the way.
Yes.
But this is what we want to say. That's what you start. What else do you suggest to them that they can do if they really want to take this as a hobby or, again, seriously, on a more serious level?
I would say practice. I mean, practice, shoot, go to any event, go to any barbecue, your family picnic, and just shoot, just practice. I mean, Michael Jordan missed 9,000 baskets, and look what happened to him. So practice. That's all I can say, just practice.
I'll tell you a funny story.
Yes.
The gentleman behind my camera, he told me one day that I'm giving him competition now because I'm always with my camera.
Oh.
because again, these are captured moments, and it's just fun because you realize too, the type of morning we've been having, for example, that people come and go, and again, it's just to get people more comfortable. So always have a camera, but especially always have a camera when you're driving, just in case something happens.
Yes.
I mean, that's
insurance,
another story. That might save your life. That's
yes.
another story. But he always teases me and said, you know what, I'm giving him competition. There is no competition, there's only collaboration, Anthony. But again, so let's say now, in terms of going forward, this is what you do.
Yes, this is my everyday. Yeah.
Was it always your everyday?
No, I had a job for 22 years, and I was doing photography on the side, and I left my job over a year and a half ago. Now I'm doing this full time. So this is what I dreamt of when I was 20 years old.
Now that was a choice for you to leave your job.
Yes,
to do
it was my
this?
choice. Yes.
Sometimes people will, for survival.
Yeah.
In a situation, I should say that they end up doing their hobby as a lifetime. But this was a choice because
it was my choice.
You had that nudging
yes.
You just knew that's where you had to go.
Yes. And now I have more time to go places. I do a lot of networking events. I meet people. Give out cards. I do open mics about 3 times a month, and I meet new people. They see my work on Facebook, my website, and that's how I connect with people. Yeah.
But that's how we connected.
Yeah.
You got invited to the event, and I didn't know who you were. I just know somebody was taking up pictures, and I saw pictures, and that's how you connect. And just being everywhere and just being among people, it's all it takes.
Yes.
It's all it takes. So again, going back to, what were some of the challenges you see in this industry when people are up and coming, and what are some of the positive things that you see in this industry as well?
Well, challenges, everybody thinks they're photographers. I mean, people go buy a camera for like $200 and they go shoot their cousin's wedding. And now I'm a professional, I'm gonna lose that job because the cousin is shooting the wedding and I'm gonna miss out my opportunity, right? So they hire the cousin, pay $200 and they get pictures,
I'll tell you a story. My wedding pictures were horrible, and I hired a photographer. a professional. This is back in Trinidad, way back, and I just wanted to die.
Wow.
I refuse to show anybody those pictures. Okay. And of course, a photographer is also responsible for getting you fixed up and make sure you touch up. But that didn't happen in my pictures. Trust me on that one. But in saying that too as well, but people pay a lot of money for, and you get what you pay for. So again, what do you believe? Again, depends on the wedding. What do you think is a reasonable cost? Because I want people to understand, people can take you for a ride to the extreme based on who you are and what you're doing, but you have to know what your worth is as well. So if you're doing a wedding shoot, for example, do your homework, get some quotes, see what they're doing, the material, is that correct? Get their work done, ask questions, and so forth.
Yes. Because actually, when a couple comes to me, I always ask them, what's your budget? So I give them a tailored package to fit their budget. I don't want to give them like an outrageous price. I say, what's your budget? You might say $1,000, $2,000, and I work a package to fit their budget. And then we go from there.
Now, I deal with fraud and so forth. Because there's times like a moving van, when you pack it up, then they start adding on costs and costs. I want people to understand, if you're going to get a quote, make sure it's a quote, and it's a quote with everything in there. I mean, there might be the exceptions. Is that correct? That you can add on if you want add-on. But really know what it is, what you want.
Yeah. Because when a couple comes to me, I actually give them a list of what they're going to get in the package. So when it's all done, they know what they're going to get. I'm not going to add on nothing extra and give them another price. They'll know for sure when they leave my house, they'll get these items in the package and nothing extra. And that's all. Unless they ask for something extra, then yeah.
Where can we get in touch with you apart from you just showing up? Which is a good thing, by the way.
Okay. My website is on trendsettersphotography.ca. My Facebook is Trendsetters Photography. And when you go on there, you can see a plant. That's my profile picture. And you see about 2,000-3,000 pictures on there from Caribana, Michelle Montana. I shot him when he was here a few weeks ago. It was so good. Oh my goodness. I saw 10,000 people in front of me. It was like a sea of people. It was like so good. And I was next to him on stage. He almost bumped into me, and I was like, wow.
I know.
Yeah.
It's amazing that. But the funny story about this is, when I was looking for a picture of Courtney, I couldn't find one.
Oh, I don't have my pictures on me. No.
I had to ask him for one. I had to ask him for one. And that's what photographers do. Some of them do not like to be in front of the camera.
No, I don't like that, no. I have a lot of pictures of myself, but I don't like to post them on Facebook. I mean, you might find 2 pictures of me on Facebook, but that's it. I have tons of pictures.
Well, I saw you with other people. It was one by yourself I was looking for.
Oh, gee.
Not with the other people. I want you to send a message out there to anyone who is possibly thinking about this. Again, as a career, as a hobby, as a dream, what would you say to them?
I'll say get a camera that fits your budget.
This time I'm going to make sure you look at the camera.
Yeah. Get a camera that fits your budget and just go to events, practice, shoot whatever it takes. I mean, go to shoot your friends' weddings, shoot whatever, just shoot. A lot of practice. Eventually, you'll probably figure out, is this for me? But just keep practicing, keep shooting, and then then you decide from there.
And also, you want to make sure that talking with somebody who knows what they're talking about, and if you have questions, don't feel that you cannot approach them because they're professional. If you want looking for apprentice or mentorship, we always look to mentor. People is always looking to mentor people, and people are always looking to be mentored.
Yes.
As well. So I want to thank you so much, Courtney,
for
coming out with us and for sharing those tips. And again, thank you so much for sharing those pictures with us.
You're welcome.
And I know there's a lot of pictures you took on this morning here because it was a very exciting morning for us.
Yes.
And I look forward to seeing those as well.
Yes.
And thank you again.
You're welcome.
And
nice being here.
We'll be right back on the DN Show.
Thank you.
But it's DN here again. I'm actually sitting with Chef Kieran, the host of a new cooking show, The Cooking Apprentice. Welcome, Kieran.
Thank you for having me here today.
So, Kieran, tell me a bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 17 years old. I am currently in high school, and I already know what I want to do for a living.
And what is that?
I want to be a chef.
Did you always want to be a chef?
No, I did not. When I was younger, I loved dinosaurs. Always had, always will. I want to be a paleontologist.
Do you know how to spell paleontologist?
Not one bit.
So Kiran, tell me, at what age did you discover that you wanted to become a chef?
I think it was actually maybe 3 or 4 years ago, because at home, my sister and I, and you as well, we always watch any cooking shows, all these cooking networks together, and we're always trying new food, we're always going out. We know a lot of places that have really...
Really? We always go out? Because I think I am minus that equation there somewhere. I know your cousin and your sister and you spend a lot of time researching and going out and eating in all these fine restaurants without me.
So correction then, my sister and my cousin, we go out and we splurge ourselves and enjoy these rich and cultured food. And then we bring home sometimes for you guys to taste. I don't know if you ever try it though. And then that's when I really developed a sense that I want to do that. I want to make food. I want to see people's reaction when I cook something and they're like, wow, that's amazing. That reminds me of work. Well, yesterday, actually, I was working in the line chef, and then I was done shift, and everyone's like, wow, good job. You're doing so well today. Because only 2 of us in the kitchen. I was doing most of the work. So they were like, good job today. You're doing really well. I'm like, thanks. That feels really nice to hear that, to get those compliments at the end of the day. That's what makes me, keep going, keep doing what I love.
Well, absolutely, because, even yesterday you cooked dinner.
Yeah.
For the first time, you made stewed chicken with kidney beans. You never did it before, but you did it. At least you followed the instructions I left with you, and you accomplished it. And that's how you perfect, by practicing and practicing and practicing as well.
Because you can't get anything perfect on the first try.
What was one of the first dishes you started to make? Because I remember eating a lot of this.
Like breakfast-wise, or like an actual meal?
Well, no, it was more like dessert.
Oh, about always the brownies and the cookies and the cakes.
The cookies. There were so many cookies. You got fed up with the cookies. I said you need to eat food. Because you remind me of my high school home ec teacher. We used to just make scones and cookies. And when my niece went to school, she used to make pilau and everything else. So I don't understand why I have to eat cookies all the time. But now you've actually grown. And I've really, I know I haven't said this to you, but I do highly respect where you're going with this, because I see that you're growing and you're thriving, and you'll pick up yourself and go to the supermarket and start making dishes. I don't mind if anybody cooks in my house, trust me on that one, because I'm never home in the first place. But let's go to the show. You did your pilot for your show.
Yes.
And you did 3 different restaurants.
Yes.
Tell me what the experience of each one of those restaurants were like, because they're all very different.
Yeah, of course, in both culture and in location. The first one we went to was a West Indian roti shop that we had gone to. It was fairly busy at the time. It's a very well-known place. The kitchen wasn't that big though. That was the thing. But the atmosphere in the kitchen, the way everyone was working, that was a great experience. You could see classical, traditional West Indian food being cooked there. And that's what I want to see. I want to see food cooked by people who know what they're doing. Like everyone nowadays into the newest thing, like molecular gastronomy. Do you know what that is?
No.
You know what that is? That's when people nowadays are using more like chemistry to cook. That's like liquid nitrogen, using all the potassium and sodium. That's the biggest craze right now. But sometimes it's just good to go back to your roots and learn traditional cooking.
And that actually, by the way, is his roots, because it was a Trinidad restaurant.
Yeah.
And definitely so. And then you also, now I know you tasted, now you didn't really prepare the food, but I know you tasted the food.
Yes.
What did you eat there?
We had one classic doubles, which is kind of like roti with chickpeas, I want to say.
For most people, it's like a barra with 2 barras with a chana, like a sandwich.
Yes. And then we had, I think it was a chicken roti?
You had half a chicken
I
roti.
had half a chicken
And
roti.
you had the other half.
And it was both good. We both ate it.
And what did you drink?
Oh my gosh, what did we drink? Was it a solo? What was it? A regular, what was it? A cola champagne solo, I think it was?
You gotta go with tradition there. You just have to go with tradition.
It's just the flavor combination. It's so classic, like you can't not have it.
Then you went off to where?
I think it's Pickering.
That's right.
It's Pickering, yeah. A place called The Courtyard. My dad, you know, he has this famous every weekend $2.50 breakfast he goes to.
It's $3.
Oh, it's $3. My bad. $3 now that they go, and him and our uncle go, and they enjoy themselves almost every weekend. So I went in the kitchen there. That was a really nice place. It looked like a really professional kitchen. I got to meet the chef there. He is a really awesome guy. He is hilarious. He is nice. Oh, I would work under him. He is cool. So what we made there was two of their famous things. One was a chicken barbecue wrap, and the other was a penne mushroom chicken in tomato sauce. That was one of their best sellers, they said. So I actually cooked those myself, and he was guiding me along, showing me step by step. I made a mess all over myself, though, with tomato sauce, and I was wearing white. So
Actually, you didn't make a very big mess. I expected more. You made more mess on the stove. But the fact is, we got to eat that food. Well, this is the thing. You got to eat everywhere you go, for God's sake. But that actually was, I think that was one of the first professional dishes you made.
In a restaurant, yes.
In a restaurant as well. Then you, and actually it was really good. I've got to say that. It was actually really good, both of them. Then what else did you do for the show? Which other place did you go?
Oh, the Avenue is another place that we went to. There we made more fine dining West Indian food. So what we made was a pepper shrimp.
You made a traditional Trinidad pepper shrimp.
And then, I forget what the second one was. What was
Chow mein.
Chow mein. Oh,
Which
yeah.
means, in Chinese, means vegetables. But it's not the noodles chow mein, it's the actual vegetable chow mein.
Because the way we make it at home is straight noodles.
And that was with Chef Ping.
Yeah, Chef Ping, yes. She was fun. She's like, what are you guys doing here? You're putting me on TV? What?
Did you have fun doing that?
Yeah, I really did enjoy it. It's the atmosphere you're in that it depends on how you're doing.
Now you had an opportunity to visit a very special school.
Yeah, the Leonzit. I'm gonna pronounce.
Liaison College. And tell them that experience. You could leave some of the gory details out, but tell them that experience for you because you didn't know where you were going.
No, I had no idea where we were going. So it was I keep saying this wrong.
Liaison.
The Liaison Culinary School. So I just thought I was going to observe what they do there. Turns out I was taking part in a black box challenge. So what that is like a mystery basket full of random ingredients, and you have to cook a 3-course meal. I didn't know that at the time. I was not prepared. I had no idea. So what I was given was eggs, an apple, a Cornish hen, sugar, and a potato. First thing, straight off the bat, I cut my hand. So half an hour I spent trying to clean my hand, trying to clean myself up, and that threw me off the rest of the night.
You know what? It comes to the territory.
Of course.
You branded yourself.
And I got to experience it too. I know what it's like now. I know what's going to happen. And then what you have to do, you just got to keep going. You got to keep persevering. You got to keep working with what you have.
What did you make?
For my appetizer, I made a potato pancake. For my main course, I made a braised Cornish hen. And then for my dessert, I made a vanilla mousse. Like the one I made for your wedding anniversary this year, except it's just vanilla instead of chocolate.
Did you have fun doing that? Do you believe that, I know you've got a bit of a taste and a touch of the experience. Is that something you really know that you want to do?
Yeah, that's definitely, for sure, I want to do that.
Now, I want to switch a little bit, only because I can, only because I know. You have been a leader ever since the day you were born.
Yes.
And in saying that too as well, you've been a leader in your school, you've been a mentor, peer, you're a very athlete. And again, you take all these skills and talents and you bring it to what you want to do now. And I will support you with whatever you want to do as well. As long as you cook food for me and I don't have to cook, I'm fine with that. It's a lot of work in terms of the career that you're choosing. Obviously, your father knows a lot of restaurants in the restaurant business as well, and you keep seeing this as well. So it's not a 9-to-5 job. You know that. You're expecting that. But in terms of I mean, my path for him would have been totally different as a leader as well. But you have been a leader to a lot of people, and I know they look up to you, your school, your teachers, your principals, everyone. And I say that because you have that, and this is like brushing his teeth, for God's sake. And you have that discipline, and you're taking this over here as well. Do you see there, because we're going to be talking about empowerment and educating, do you see like there's a connection there of who you are and where you're going in your career?
Of course. It's just like you right now. You love being with people. You are very outgoing. You are very social. You love connecting people. You have that.
I like my downtime to know kids. Okay.
But you have a very spiritual connection with people. And whenever you meet someone, you can always find a level to talk to them. Same thing with me.
Thank you for that.
So it goes hand in hand. What you love is what you're going to do. That's why, if I can talk about this for a sec, it's about you.
I don't know where this is going, but go ahead.
Remember when you used to work at the bank how many years ago? You stopped that and you did what you love. And this is what's happening for me. I'm doing what I love, but I'm doing it at a younger age. So it's going to transition even better for me in the future.
And thank you for that, because I have said to you and everybody else, whatever you want to do, continue to do it. With this show, we know it's going to, again, it's school, of course. We're going to grade 12, and we're going to get as much of the shows as possible. And it's where you want to take it to be, and wherever you want this to go is where we'll be there to support you as well. So I want you to look out there, as you know, to send your message out to anyone out there who might be possibly thinking about this or any other dream or any career that they have, and tell them what you want to say. I know you're very good at that too, so.
So for anyone who is young or maybe old, looking to start a passion or a career, what I'm going to tell you is, do what you love. Do what makes you happy. Surround yourself with people who bring out the better in you, who support you for whatever it is that you do. That's what you want. If that's what you want to do, then have people help you, because being happy is your number one thing.
And what's the name of your show again?
The Cooking Apprentice.
And look out for The Cooking Apprentice when it will be aired on the HD Caribbean. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Deanna. I'm here on the Deanna News Show, and I have the absolute honor and pleasure to introduce this woman next to me, who I'm so, so proud of. And, I keep saying the word honor because that's what I am. And her name is Yvonne Bob Smith. Welcome to my show, Yvonne.
Thank you very much, Dan.
I have to say, we'll get into how we met, but tell us a little bit about yourself, because you have a fascinating history, fascinating credentials and profile, but yet such a humble woman. So tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, where do I start? From the very beginning?
Well, let's see how much tape we have for this show.
Well, a little bit about myself currently is that I'm enjoying 5 weeks in Toronto, Canada, save the cold weather. I have warm friendships, warm and loving
Very nice.
friendships, and visiting some places that I used to call my stomping grounds and stuff like that. On the more serious side, I came because I wanted to do a project to put down in history an activity that was done here in 1965 by a group of us to promote, to develop, and to establish Black art. We call it Black and Caribbean art for people who felt a little bit on the worrisome side about the word black. But it was, when I look back on that, I felt that we had done so much in 1 year. And what does it say, At least we could say, if we could use some information from it, see how it works in the present, what the present is doing, and so, or compare it, or as you use the word honor the people who have originated work and things in this country, initiatives in this country from the Caribbean. We have a dearth of information in the Caribbean about the Caribbean people who live here. All right. So that was the purpose of staying as long as I am and getting cold as I was cold. That was the purpose. One of the key people in the play, in the whole project, would be Austin Clarke, who, as you know, is a prestigious writer, and I have another project to edit his memoirs. So that's where I am at the current time. You know, you gotta eat, so I'm working. I teach online at UWI.
Yeah.
I teach Introduction to Sociology at UWI. And that's about it for now.
That's really a short version, because I know there's a longer version. So let's go back, way back. You always wanted to be in the educational system, a teacher. I know you're a learner. You're always a learner.
Yes.
And you're always educating people. When did you know you want to become well, not a professor, no, you're a professor, but a teacher? Where did it all start? Where did it start in Trinidad?
Well,
because I knew you were doing an interview before with some family friends, so I heard some stories there. So.
I would say that when I was very small, I always played teacher, but I didn't say I will be a teacher. I became a librarian, but I tried in my little way to make a librarian a teacher. And so therefore, it was not a matter of people borrowing books from the library. I remember instances where I took books to communities,
Yes.
and we sat down as we did here now, and people read and felt very happy about that. And in Trinidad, you know, but those are initiatives that it's very hard to get institutions to take on. However, learning is a pastime of mine, and I thought the avenue, the route to my continuous learning as a human being would be to teach. So therefore, I get very frustrated when I feel students are not doing the work, because I'm doing the work
Yes.
that they ought to be doing, you know, and why aren't you? And I am not, you know. So I might say to a group, especially when it's a traditional, I said, okay, I've already got my degree, so I don't know what's happening with you all. You know? So teaching, and the other thing that I liked was speaking. I like that a lot. And in the classroom, I tried to give that mix of motivational speech and teaching speech. You know, so that's about what I could express on that in that area.
In order to be in any of these industries and a craft, it's a talent and a craft. You really have to live it, and you have to love it. And you've loved books for like eternity.
Yeah.
And that's where you got your, have you written a book yourself?
Yes, I wrote. I know who I am.
I knew you were going to mention it, so I.
I know who I am, a Caribbean woman's identity in Canada. I haven't written much lately, but my last co-authorship was again on Trinidad, and this was on gender, family work responsibilities in 2005. I did this with Professor Reddock from UWI. But I was thinking just the other day that there was a whole discourse on capital punishment in Trinidad because a video went viral where a woman was giving her child licks. You know what licks?
Smacking the life out of them. I knew we grew up with licks, you know. That was the way we grew up. It is what it is. Yes.
So you could imagine the discourse.
I actually saw that in the kitchen.
Yes.
That's the one in the kitchen. I actually saw that video, yes.
But the discourse that came out, well, people saying you shouldn't do it and she should be put in jail. And she said, I don't care, put me in jail, I will still be there. So I wrote on Facebook that I don't know licks, but I know what you call it, treatment, cold treatment. And that was my mother. The two things she used to say: if you're making mischief, get a book. I know those three words very well. And you go inside and you pick up something, whatever magazine or book there is. And she never used. So a youngster wrote back and said he preferred licks. You see, you see how things are. I said, oh, for days she wouldn't speak, and she would be passing you like if you don't exist. That was harder to bear than, than licks.
But you were saying that too, growing up in Trinidad too as well. My mother had up to her standard 6 education, and they grew up in a very hard environment. Oh, my grandfather was a very wealthy man, started pretty much with nothing. But my grandmother had to sell in the market. So my mother had to become mother to her siblings overnight. And when my mother watched you, you know what not to speak.
Yes.
But it also, growing up and having my own kids, I appreciate now what we call hard school. We old school, where we actually appreciate the finer things in life. And, everybody when it gets divorced and so forth. But now it's just, it made me a better person.
Yes.
I appreciate it more. Not then, but I appreciate it more now when you look back of the discipline that we got.
Yes.
I mean, it was very harsh discipline, but it was a discipline. And they did best what they can, what they knew. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's forward a little bit to the books, because, I'm really intrigued about the books, because we actually met at a first-time authors award where I had to send in my book, which is Mrs. Ford and You, which is this book here as well. And you actually, I'm going to say you read the book, or you skimmed through the book. And you gave amazing presentation. I know it was like 29 of us was there. It was 30 books. And you had a synopsis of all the books. And actually, I'm going to say this to you. I think you mentioned my book twice, and it was pretty long. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
How did you get involved in this with NALIS?
Well, first of all, as you know, I'm a librarian, and NALIS just selected me, asked me if I would like to do it. So this is the 5th year, so I started the 2nd year, and that was it. What I do, one year they send the books like 10 days before, so naturally I did just about nothing else. In the year of yours, it was a longer time, so I read as I go along, every day I read a bit. And once I have caught the nature, the idea the person has, the thought, the vision, I make notes about that. So it's not always I read cover to cover. But if I get a juicy novel, I read that cover to cover.
So you're trying to tell me to read my book cover to cover?
But this is not a novel. Anyway, it was alarming that you could have made, in a semi-serious way, something that is very pressing and serious.
Thank you for that.
So on that note, I picked parts of it to think about it, to make my notes so that I could speak on the platform. As I said, what I tried to do, I believe your book would have just been the only one in the category. Using my librarian skills, I classify the books. So if you get 20 books on inspiration, whether it be poetry or prose, I talk about it and say, well, these books are telling us how to behave, or these books are telling us how to pray, or these books are telling us to believe in God. And then the other categories that would come up, say economics, would be like yours. But I tend to not to use the heavy terms because I want the audience to really read. So this would be like, how to make sure that you don't have problems in your life when you are committed to anything where money was concerned. And then we have a few children's books.
Yes.
Many of them are quite neat because this year we had people writing who live in the diaspora and giving the children information about Trinidad, you know? So like John goes home and he likes callaloo, he likes crab and dumpling, and you know, little things like that. So it's a very, I like the exercise, and as I said, reading is learning. I come away with some knowledge. For example, I'll just close on this one. There were two important books that were biographies this year. One was a woman who had experienced incest, and she was able to get over her pain.
Yes.
Now, the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago, people do not talk about their pain. It's hard to get people to come together for any therapeutic reasons. And here is this woman who has put out a book, and she now is really okay. And the other one was a prisoner. And this is second book from a prisoner that we have had as first-time authors. Both of these people came up to me like if I had done something great to have spoken about their books.
It is a great feeling.
That's it.
Having
Well, I
you
wish
up
you would
there,
express that to me.
Yes, it is a great feeling because this actually, my girlfriend told me about the event First Time Authors, and it is for anyone in the Trinidad diaspora living away who actually writes a book within the 1 year, and you know there's no cost to it. You just know it, you recognize, and this is the actual award that I received. Right, so this is the award, complimented among everybody. But it's just standing there with someone knowing that this is the first book I did, and someone is reading it, giving a synopsis, and actually telling the story. Someone very educated like you and respectful like you in the community. That was an honor. That was the first time. That's the only award I ever got for that book, by the way. But it is an honor. Seriously.
You see, Trinidad is not only crime.
No, it's not.
I rest my case.
Yes, but to take the time, someone take the time, and I do applaud and thank Knowledge for doing that because it gives all of us appreciation of our work. Other people have seen our work.
Yes, and this year the minister came. Every year when we invite the minister, they always send
Yeah, he was not there when I was there.
But Dr. Gopison came, and he went, oh Lord, he felt wonderful. He felt it was such a great initiative. So much so he said he wants to write, and he has never been able to sit down to write. And the librarian said, well, I give you 5 years. The next 5 years, we want to see your book, you know. It was really very, very heady. That's the only simple word that I want to use on it. And as I said, I just think by rule, when I roll it back, that I want to share knowledge, which we do as librarians, because when we get books, we make sure that we put them in such a way that
that's what you be. You're out in the garden.
Well, we know we're in a garden. we want to put them in such a way that everybody can have access to them. And as I mentioned before, we have the internet now.
Yes.
You can Google and get your information. So that takes care of one of my desires and goals, to share knowledge, okay? And the other one would be to see authors, because again, as I said, the headlines about Trinidad and Tobago is like everybody fighting every minute, every day. And to think that we have authors up to 50 in a year, even though some of them, not all of them, are stationed in other parts of the world, but the majority of people are, writers.
I actually realized that I believe Trinidad is the only one that has this award. I can't come up with any other islands that actually has it.
Well, Trinidad, again, is noted for many initiatives. Trinidad is responsible for what we have now here as when we want to call the name Carnival. It's Trinidadians. Trinidadians were responsible for telling the world, let us celebrate Emancipation Day.
Which we just celebrated last
Which we
week.
just celebrated.
Yes.
Trinidad is responsible, and I could go on and on, but most of all, the initiative of books in international book year, or in whatever the UN announces for. It started it 5 years ago, and now
that's
it's running 5.
April 23rd every
Yes.
year. It's
Yes.
International Book Year,
That's
I
right.
believe, correct? I have to tell you a little story. It was actually, I went to my old school. I went to a convent in Hoover. And one of my old teachers said, hey, come in. I was showing her the book. And she said, come in. And I didn't know, I had an article, Srinali had wrote an article about me in Women's Weekday. And they found the article, because she actually happened to say Hoover, right? And they had the article there. But I had the book, and I didn't know. So they bought the article out because they're from Nalis, because Nalis is in all the libraries, in many libraries. So it was really, I was like shocked, because my own school had it. So I actually said, here's the book. Because I actually wrote the book. I just didn't know that they knew about the book. So it was a great honor as well, because of you and everyone else there. How long do you expect to do this again? I know you're going to keep reading and reading and reading and analyzing these books for...
Can I answer that question? And maybe ask the audience.
You're probably going to retire soon from doing that, but that's a love of your life. You'll do it to the end. That's right.
Well, retirement is not a part of my vocabulary.
So you'll always be doing
I
this.
don't define myself as retired.
So as long as you can breathe, you'll be doing this.
Yes, that's right.
Absolutely. What do you want to tell us? Tell us about, something we don't know about you. What else do you like to do besides read?
Wow.
I know you love gardening.
How did you know that?
Because you said you used to come to this house to garden all the time when you live in the apartment. I was listening to the other interview, Rose and I were actually listening. So tell us about the hobbies. I know it's not only reading.
Well, what can I tell you about myself? And this is our closing, because I have a lot of people there waiting to start a party.
Yes.
Well, that is it. I love fete. I love line. I love party. And one of the origins of having a party like this today with some of my friends who went to school with me was like, I noticed we just pack up and go back home. I said, well, when is your birthday? And people, shy or so. I said, okay, fete. And by the time I knew it, the term was over. Everybody, I think many of them are here this evening.
That's nice.
Each person had a birthday fete. Those who can't dance, learn to dance. I love that. I love Mass. I've been playing Mass, not all my life, but just about all my adult life. I love Pan.
I was just going to ask you, do you do any musical?
Pan
do you play any musical instruments?
No, but I love Pan. And last Saturday, I amazed everybody by going right up to the stage to dance to Fillmore, Professor Fillmore.
Yes.
And he would like to know that I mentioned him because he's exceptional.
Yes.
And my favorite band is All Stars.
Very nice. Very nice.
So that's all I will say about myself at this time.
Just out there, just in your closing, whatever it is you want to say to the writers, the wannabe writers, the ones who've written the books. Do you know that? Do you know what Nalis is prepared to do?
No, Nalis is
So Yvonne, Nalis, tell us a bit about Nalis and what do you know Nalis is. I know they just started, this is the 5th year, and you have been involved with them for a couple of years, and I'm sure you probably know more about Nalis more than anybody else. What do you think they're going with this? And tell us a bit of who they are.
Not really that I know more about Nalis. Nalis is a government institution that has work to do on a daily basis, and the public would know how to take part or what is there to be accessed. These are initiatives, and if I may blow a trumpet for a librarian, librarians are very creative people.
Yes.
And on that basis, we turn out things annually. There's always something to do. Nalis won prizes for how they're treating special needs children, how they're treating people with disabilities. There are a number of blind and deaf people who go to Nalis as usual, like the rest of everybody. And this again is because of the nature of the job and the people who are interested in it. I can't say that it will stop. You know, it may make a different turn because sometimes we were talking about giving more feedback to authors. You know, we were just talking about it like that instead of having everybody on the same level. But as far as I know, once it has been established, it's one of those things that we want.
And they're amazing staff there. And the funny thing is, they actually purchased 52 of my books to pass them to all the libraries to make sure they had it in the libraries, which was actually really nice of them too as well, to make sure everyone have it. I didn't sign every book, but it was very nice of them. So tell us tell us whatever you want to tell us, and to the authors out there, wannabe authors, and anybody who is an author, and don't even show their book or share their books. I know there's a lot of authors there.
Well, Alice's initiative for the first-time authors certainly is creating a sort of, how should I put it? People are getting rid of their shyness. They're becoming more empowered because there are a lot of self-published books in the list, and that just goes to show.
Mine was self-published as well.
Yeah, well, there are a lot in Trinidad. We have the self, and Nalis holds the publishing code. So once somebody writes a book and feels good about it, they could go to Nalis for the publishing code and work the book up in order that it would look like this. My concern, though, is editing, because many of the books need to be edited.
That's
many
correct.
of them
Don't do it yourself.
tend to, yes, you have to get somebody to read it.
Yes,
So you
I
have to
agree.
get somebody to read it. So that to me is the inspiration from First Time Authors Awards, because people tell other people, and stuff like that. And some people have things under the bed or in the backyard, wherever, and say, hey, but let me go and, encourage writing. I would say, like, you want to write every day. Put it down somewhere so that by the end of a month, you may look at it and say, well, what have I written? How does it sound? Pass it on to somebody else. Read. Reading is very, very important for the writer because sometimes your knowledge, what you think might be your idea, has been somebody else's idea. But we build on ideas, so you want to show that you respect the past idea. Read as much as possible. Listen. Many times writers have problems doing dialogue, and our dialogue is excellent. I have a little idea to write about rain, how Trinidadians like rain. Hey, this rain ain't tell me it coming down. I was just leaving to go out and the rain come down. Hey, but look, I going home right now, because I see rain come in. And I've heard so many of those pieces of dialogue that I think rain is a person. What is this? Rain? That's that sort of thing, Listen to what we are saying in our communities and our society so you don't go off on a strain that is American or English, which nothing is wrong with it. But remember, focus. The focus is so important. And the exposure of our country and our people to the world is most important. Tops. Thank you very much.
How can we get in touch with you? If they need to get in touch with you, I know you do editing.
Google Yvonne Bob Smith.
And that's Bob with 2 B's.
Bob
Smith.
with 2 B's hyphen SMITH.
Absolutely.
Or check me on LinkedIn.
She's everywhere. She's everywhere. But Yvonne, I want to say this has been really, truly a pleasure. Since last year, I've been hounding you down. So in Trinidad as well as here. And, finally, I know you'll be leaving soon. And please feel free anytime to come back and visit with us. And I know I will get you back. Definitely so. But I want to say, it's really been a pleasure. This has been an honor of mine to have you. And I'm just really, really honored and pleased to do this. And for everyone out there, listen to what she has to say. Pick up a pen, paper, type, dictate, whatever you have to do. Get your thoughts on paper because you never know what will come out. And again, your dreams can become a reality and you can become, yes, a first-time author. So thank you once again. and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. You're welcome. Very welcome.
So the process for having the book, a girlfriend had told me about it, and it's a simple process. Just go online, fill out an application, and I actually just made some phone calls to find out when it was, where I have to go, and I had to take a plane to go down to Trinidad to do this. And actually, it was a really nice time there, and the ceremony was simply amazing. It was truly amazing, and I just want to thank Nellis also as well on behalf of everyone else in the diaspora. It's been a pleasure, and thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Shane Supol. I am the principal mortgage broker at Avanti Financial Services. We're a full-service mortgage brokerage company. We're available on the net at www.avanti-financial.com. We're also available on a 1-800 number. It's 1-866-839-4449. We can assist you with all your mortgage financing needs, as we have relationships with over 25 institutional as well as a ton of private individuals to assist with your needs, whether your credit has been bruised or whether you have very good credit. We can assist you, as I said, with all your financial needs. Remember, my name is Shane Supol, 1-866-839-4449.
The Deanne and You Show puts a spotlight on Canadian entrepreneurship and includes a wide demographic to showcase the success and struggles in developing a new business. Come and explore new Canadian business through our conversations with you. The Deanne and You Show is the beacon of Canadian entrepreneurship.